Competitor SWOT analysis. I'm going to show you how to quickly get answers from your competitors so you can get a competitive advantage against them. Now, how do you do a SWOT analysis and get such in-depth level analysis? You look at what your competitors' customers are saying, and I'm going to get all of that data and I'm going to show you how you can do it for free. So who am I? I'm Ronald Osborne. I'm an award-winning international business coach. Now, before I helped people make their businesses successful, I actually made my own business successful. So I had a telecommunications company in Australia before I started traveling and having businesses all around the world and living overseas currently. I actually set up my own endeavors. So when it comes to doing SWOTs, doing market analysis, assessing competitors and improving on competitor weaknesses, I'm really, really good in this field. So if you want to learn more about me, come over to my website. Now, the way you get this sheet, this SWOT analysis actually uses AI, and you get to sit back and just enter a few things. That's why this thing's super powerful. So go over to the Ronald Osborne website, myronaldosborne.org. Click on this yellow button here or click the link down below. Okay, so I'll put a link in the video description for you. Now, you'll be taken to this sheet. Now, what this sheet has is this has all of the information and all of the tools. And again, if you get this, this is free, and you get all of these for free as well. You get all of these for free. So keep scrolling. This is all free. There you go. Google Maps Review Analyzer. This is what we need to conduct the SWOT. This is what's going to help us conduct the competitive advantage analysis with the SWOT. So once you've done that, you'll have this. Now, you will need to go and get a couple of APIs from Outscraper. Now, it's going to look like this for you, and Claude or OpenAI. So I've set it up for both. Now, just here's the link to Outscraper. You get to scrape 1,000 reviews for completely free, and then put your API in here. Use this link, you get the free 1,000 crawls. Then with Claude or OpenAI, you put in your Open API key here. If you don't know how to get it, follow this link and it'll prop you along. As long as you've got an account with them, you'll be fine. Now, I know some people might be sitting there going, I want to do it manually. I can show you how to do it manually, but that is very silly and an absolute waste of your time. It doesn't do the semantic analysis that I've trained these models to do. So this is a lot more powerful when you incorporate the AI. So once you've done that, you're going to go to this sheet. The way you want to use this is there's a couple of things. You go to the input tab right here. This is where you input the information into this SWOT sheet. So you can see here, I've already got a couple of competitors, and I'll run you through what the sheet does, and then we'll do an actual analysis. So we can see the competitors here and my business as an example that I've used here. So what it does, first thing, the output we get is like a roof, a word cloud. So I've used a roofer in this example. We'll use a dental clinic, or we'll use something else momentarily. We'll use a couple of different examples. And you can see here what it's done is it's created a bit of a word blob. Now what it also does is it looks at the semantic relevance of terms as well. So you can see here, this is pulling in the semantically relevant terms consistently mentioned throughout the reviews of yours and your competitors. So you then get the competitor average and you get to see where you are versus the competitor. This is fantastic for anything to do with marketing. Absolutely fantastic to do, especially with local SEO. Unique differentiators, you can actually see who's using this more and where, as an example. And then the keywords, this is another great thing for things like local SEO. You want people mentioning this stuff in your reviews. Now, if we come over to the dashboard, this is also, again, just super insightful for us. This gives us a bit of a score on what we're doing well. So where we're doing well. Now, this is the SWOT analysis. This is the SWOT analysis that this thing does in 5 minutes for completely free. And it's awesome because everyone always asks me, Ronald, especially like, obviously I work with a lot of Aussies, Kiwis, you name it. In Yankee land, in America, there's a lot more accessible data on businesses than there is anywhere else in the world. The UK, Australia, then notoriously hard to actually track down bits of data on your competitors. It's really, really challenging. It's really challenging. But when it comes to America, it's a lot easier to actually find information out on companies. So the greatest thing that I found over the years is collecting information from what their users are saying about their product is actually the best way of doing it. So what this SWOT analysis does is it looks at all of the reviews and it compares your reviews against your competitors. And it does all this in the space of like 2 minutes. It's under 5 minutes and you get this done. So as an example, you can see that what this has put out, it's like, here's your strengths, here's your opportunities, here's your threats, and here's your weaknesses. This is what the tool does. The reviews itself, maybe you want to analyze the reviews yourself. Maybe you want to have a look and have a suss. Now, I did used to have a calendar, like a chart on this that showed when the reviews were being placed. But to be honest, like it's good, but at the same time, it would actually muck up a lot of the analysis. And then the final thing you've got here is just like a bit of an overview. So you can look at how you're doing compared to your competitors, where in the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, where the sort of how many counts they have, what percentage that is of their total reviews. So it's a nice little summary, a nice little thing to have a look at. Common complaints, limited residential market presence compared to competitors. This gives you an AI of your strengths and weaknesses, literally what I'm promising you it would have. So let's do a run. Now, if you're in Fort Lauderdale, so if you're near me, near wonderful Osborne Digital Marketing, Rhonda Osborne Coaching, let's I don't know, let's see if there's any chats. If anyone's put anything into the chat, I'll run one off the chat. If anyone has anything, well, I'll have a sip of water. All right. Okay, let's just do a dentist SWOT. So be it. All right. So be it. Dentist SWOT. That's what we're doing. Now, that's a lot of reviews. That might take a minute. I want to do it a bit quicker. I'm going to change that, guys. Let's do... Look, this was great, but if you're doing alongside of me, you can see that it's already maxing out your credits there. Let's have a look for something like business attorney. Let's do Tampa. Let's have a look. Let's do business attorney Tampa. That'll be a little bit lighter on. So we've got this guy here, this brick law. We're going to grab him. Now you need to get this. There's a couple of ways you can input the data. So you go to input here. We're going to put this as competitor number 1. Paste that in here. You can put the business name and the state, but the problem is Google can get a little bit confused. So we've grabbed him. We're going to grab you as well because you're also up the top. Grab you, number 2. Boom. And they're number 3. All right, don't grab any sponsored or anything like that. And then what you want to do is let's look for someone that's in this area, but they're not showing up too well. So we want to see, oh, they're right in the middle. They've got 39 reviews as well. So they're not doing too well. So you want to see, like as an example, you saw there's a lot of competitors that are ranking a lot higher than us and they're not doing that much different. So let's see where our strengths and weaknesses lie with this analysis. So once you've input the data, super simple. All you need to do is come up to this thing where it says Review Analyzer. Click on this, compare with competitors. All right, click that. Now it's running the script. So now she's running away, analyzing 1 of 4. Okay, and this should work for you. Like I said, as long as you input your APIs, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'll just leave this to keep running. Now, I'll give you some tips on conducting SWOT analysis because I've done too many of them. I would say, honestly, maybe like thousands and thousands of SWOT analysis at this stage. The biggest thing when it comes to a SWOT is honestly your weaknesses. I like looking at the weaknesses because I can't remember who it was, but there was a very famous, probably not very famous, out of New York. They went to a restaurant that was ranked number 1. They were ranked number 50 in the world. I can't remember the name. It's going to drive me insane. And what happened is that these guys weren't doing as well. They wanted to be number 1. But like all of us, we see what someone else is doing well and we emulate it. And that's fantastic. And even I recommend that. However, their strategy was to look at the weaknesses of what the number 1 was doing in their niche. The number 1 was doing this poorly. All right, we need to double down and be better. That's where we need to be so exceptional. That's why when it comes to me conducting SWOT analysis, I like looking at our weaknesses, and then I also like looking at the threats of the competitors, because then I can start to ascertain, right, these are the areas that could be strong, we could be improving on quickly. There's a lot of, you'll be amazed, and this will pull it up. You will see there's going to be a lot of things that you can uncover when you do this appropriately, when you do this the right way. It's not that hard. And like I said, if you want to have a chat with me about conducting a SWOT analysis, you're a business owner looking to do more, reach out to me. Book a free 15-minute discovery call. I charge nothing for that. It's free. If you want to have a chat with me that lasts for an hour, that's $150. But hey, you get years and years and years and years and years of business advice from someone that's literally built companies all around the world. So that's pretty much how it works. This is why I didn't want to do the long dentist, because it can actually take a little bit longer if it's going to be looking at thousands of reviews. So you can see we're up to number 3 now. If there's any questions pertaining to a SWOT analysis or anything like that, throw it in the chat, guys. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions pertaining to SWOT. I know it's not the most beautiful of analysis to be conducting, but for me, it's something that I like always doing pretty early on, especially if it's something that's a little bit newer in the market. You're in a business like, let's say, merchant cash advancement sort of things. If you're in a newer space, that's when it's appropriate to be running this kind of stuff. Anything in the financial markets especially. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. She's a slow day today. Guys, doing a cheeky plug. Put a comment down below, link, put a SWOT analysis if you can for me, just in the comment. If you find this valuable, all I ask, you don't need to spend any money with me, but all you need to do is just put a comment down below saying SWOT analysis, and that's going to help out this YouTube channel. This will help me out, and it motivates me to continuously do more YouTube videos, because I actually like creating content. And if I can help people more, God's going to smile very favorably upon me if I can help as many people as I possibly can and to build a better world. I know this is business and it's a little bit dramatic to say that, but that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at being someone that can preach religion. That's not me, but I am good at building businesses. So maybe I can help out other people like that. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. She's done. So we'll analyze this report right now and we'll dive deep into it. So as you can see, we put in the input. So remember, this was us and here's our competitors. Now for me, I like starting at the word analysis just so I can start to see what was showing up a little bit more. So again, the word blob, you can see this here. Notice how consistently it's like names showing up for these attorneys. I'll give you a nice little tip. When it comes to trying to rank, as well as building a strong psychological connection with people, having names is really, really good in your reviews. Now, if you're like me, if you look up Ronald Osborne Business Coaching, you're going to see all the, what am I at, like 60 reviews now on the Google Business Profile in Fort Lauderdale. The thing is, that's really good for just me. But if I was to bring on someone else, it's not good to have multiple mentions of just Ronald Osborne. You know what I'm saying? But if I have one of my other companies that isn't actual set up as a company and not really as a consultant, having multiple name mentions in there starts to see and appear and feel more trustworthy. But if you want to work with me, you want to see just Ronald Osborne. So this is a word blob. Then the semantic word analysis, pay special attention to this. Now, when it comes to you to analyzing and like identifying strengths and weaknesses, again, this is really good from the psychological perspective, an understanding of what your competitors' customers are actually saying about their business. So how often they're associating a term with a service. It's always awesome. And then this is just a sneaky little thing for some SEO. So this is a SWOT. All right, let's dive deep into the SWOT analysis, because this is what you've come here for, and this is what it can do. So the strengths: exceptional negotiation skills and the ability to avoid court while achieving outstanding results. Like, this has come from our reviews and what we've been able to do, our strengths. So it's analyzed what our customers have said about us. So it's doing this: outstanding communication, takes on difficult cases that other attorneys refuse. Oh, like, these are good things. Like, this is awesome reputational stuff for our business. That's absolutely awesome. Now, the opportunities: expand marketing to highlight expertise in taking difficult cases that others won't handle. Boom. That's where this tool is super, super handy. And again, like I said, it's free. You get to sit there and go, maybe that is a good opportunity for me to talk about. Because again, I work with a lot of attorneys and a lot of them, I'm an Aussie, we love our cricket. If it's going to impact their run rate, which is how well they perform, like a batting average, some attorneys don't like taking those cases on. So maybe that is something that we can utilize to market with. Develop specialized practice area branding based on proven success areas. So it's identified that basically we're weakest in operating in our specific niche type areas. That's where we're sucking. So we have a brand image, but it's an image of supporting cases in what area. Again, this is just helping us identify, all right, well, we're not good here, but we could be better. Create referral program leveraging the strong client loyalty and repeat business. Absolutely. Like, if I was this guy right here, whoever this attorney is, he's obviously done something exceptionally well to build the trust of his clients. He should be leaning on his clients to help generate as much referral work as absolutely possible. Now we get into the nice stuff. So, weaknesses: limited negative feedback available to identify specific improvement areas. There you go. There's AI coming in to work for us. So you can see, because we've done so well, and because our competitors, if we come over, let's have a look at our competitors. Our competitors aren't sitting, except for Brick Business Law, they're sitting there with a couple of negative reviews, all right, 1-star reviews. And these guys are too, but it's quite low. So because we don't have any, there's nothing for us to really, the AI to really lean in and leverage. And this is the benefit of looking at someone with more reviews, like the dentist we looked at, but I'd still be talking if we're waiting for the dentist analysis to be conducted. But this is the deep dive. The more reviews, the more of the in-depth analysis you're going to get from it. So we come back to the SWOT. Some cases mention taking extended periods, years to resolve. That's the legal game, unfortunately. Now, with this, if I'm this attorney, what I would be doing is I'd be taking that and just making sure that I'm always alluding to all of the individuals that I'm working with. Hey, this type of case could drag on for a certain amount of time. No specific mentions of pricing structure and cost transparency. Again, that's attorneys. So again, if I'm this attorney, I can maybe try and break that mold by going, right, these are some services that I offer for this certain amount of money. Limited information about staff beyond Nathan and Melissa. That's what I mentioned before. That's literally what I mentioned before. That's something that you need to pay attention to. No mentions of digital tools or modern client portals or anything like this. How concerning is that to you? Not that concerning. Like, it doesn't really matter, but it is something. If someone said on your and this is where this pulls this information, maybe one of your positive reviews on your competitor's profile said that they have this awesome digital tool that helps monitor the case. I can pay my invoices on there. I don't lose any time on there. Everything's in there. You've got to sit back and go, okay, that is a little bit of a weakness. Threats. Heavy dependence on Nathan, personally. All right? So there's a succession planning risk right here. What happens if something happens to Nathan? Again, if something happens to Ronald Osborne, so be it. It's been a fun ride. It's time for me to head off. But I have not built anything pertaining to a succession plan because it's not really relevant for my business structure. For this business structure, Ronald Osborne Coaching. But for Nathan and his attorney business, it probably is. What happens if he wants to hand it off to his son or his daughter, maybe his brother, maybe his sister, whoever it may be that he's working with? If he's relying too much on himself, like I said before in the reviews, this picks it up. High client expectations set by consistently excellent performance. Yes. Yeah, so maybe that is, look, it can be a double-edged sword, depends on how you market it and what you inform your clients on. If he says, and if he gets known as an exceptional attorney, that's nothing to, I'd like to think that I'm an exceptional business coach. Like I just got this another award in the mail the other day. Just opened it up before. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm good at what I do and I can help people here. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it is something to be aware of. Competition from larger firms with more resources and marketing budgets. Boom. So this is picked up. It's like, look, these guys are up the top. They're probably spending money on marketing. How are you, the smaller attorney, going to compete? And this is an absolute threat to him, because it is. Having a look at his reviews, he seemed exceptional, and again, you can come across and look at the reviews if you want. You can sit there and have a look and you can suss everything out and go, okay, well, this was really, really good. It was really, really positive. But if they're going to be spending $3,000 a month on marketing, how does he compete? How is he able to stay in front of his competitors? These are the types of things that you've got to be aware of. So yeah, it is an interesting, I love it, but I love this tool. I absolutely love this tool. I love it so much. I was actually thinking about charging for this one, to be honest, but I didn't really know how I could charge for a sheet. You can lock some Google Sheets, you can lock them, and then I was going to charge, a pretty penny for this one, because I do think it's just a very valuable tool. But why not? You're going to be, you're going to be an awesome person, and you're going to leave a nice like down below and a nice comment for me anyway. So it's going to pay for itself, right? But that's how you can use this. Now, when it comes into also leaning on the SWOT analysis, you also have the benefit here, all right, of additional information. Excuse me. Top performers do well. So strong personal relationships, efficient case resolution, multiple mentions of quick, successful outcomes. Takes time to explain everything. Like here, common complaints, billing transparency issue. Clients confused about the rates and fees overcharged. Communication breakdowns. Aggressive billing practices. Running up costs regardless of outcomes. Like, these are what your competitors are doing. So you know that, again, if you're this attorney, you can sit there and go, all right, I'm no good here. Or my competitors are no good here. What I should be doing is something that's more transparent, more upfront, not so working off in the shadows, and that's not good. And then again, here we go. Billing complaints and not following client directives. Sorry, guys. I'm fasting today, so I'm wondering if that's what's cooking me. So, actions. So here's some opportunities to exploit actions. Emphasize transparent billing and client direct approach in marketing. Highlight respectful, collaborative client relationships. Offer clear, upfront pricing during initial consultations. Now, even myself, I know that can be challenging to do, but there should definitely be ballparks. I always give most people ballpark figures, and same, like, I work on a lot of clients that I work with. I actually have a bit of a retainer on the business success. Because someone that doesn't have skin in the game, in my opinion, in the game that I play, you should stay away from them. If they're a real business coach, they should be like, ooh, this is a business I'm going to be able to help grow. I want a slice of that pie. That's what I like doing. So I normally charge a nice percentage on top of any revenue that I bring into the business, profits, whatever it may be. But that's definitely something that you want to make clear. And it's always before I sign any agreement with my clients, they always know, hey, we're going to build $1 million business in 12 months. We're going to build a $2 million business. You do understand that you're going to have to pay me maybe 30, 50 grand at the end of that, as long as these monthly fees are like $500, $600, $700. That's what I explain to my clients. So you have to be honest and upfront. And that's something that this man right here could capitalize on. Absolutely. Strategic recommendations, leverage billing transparency, like we talked on there. Okay, these are common complaints. And again, you're specifically identifying where your competitors suck. The more reviews, like I said, the more reviews you have, you can use this on any industry. This will work on any industry with a Google business profile. The biggest thing is you're consistently seeing that billing transparency is not shown. That's terrible. That's not good. Not following client instructions. That's not good at all, because it's not like someone that's small. It's not like an electrician. Hey, you installed the wrong color lights. That's my bad, mate. I'll go replace that for you. This attorney could cost you your livelihood by making a mistake. You've got the poor value for money. People are feeling like they've been overcharged for a subpar thing. I'm giving away this for free. You should see what I have that's paid. That's the thing. You've got an opportunity to capitalize on where your competitors are falling down. So like I said, you want to have a chat with me because you want to achieve your version of success. This doesn't need to be meaning that you'll make millions of dollars. It can be happy making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Book a free discovery call with me and we can have a chat about it. Or if you want to learn more, you can book the 1 hour session and that costs you $150 and we can have a chat. Or you can come over. On your sheet, you're going to notice a big Facebook page. Click this. This is a nice little community that I've got set up, and I help people in here. There's I can't remember, we're maybe a couple hundred now. And with this, if you ask me any questions, if you ask me anything pertaining to business and it's asked in this group, it gets answered. If you ask it on YouTube, I do my absolute best, but sometimes it's hard to look at all the comments. It's hard to look at everything. But if you ask me a question on Facebook, I'm going to answer it for you. And if you'd like to see more informational content around how to analyze businesses and use AI and do all of this, that's what I cover. So make sure you subscribe, you like, and put a comment down below. Thanks for enjoying this session with me. I've enjoyed it. I hope now you'll be able to do a SWOT analysis very easily with AI under 5 minutes, and you'll enjoy